Well, welcome back to the Auckland War Memorial Museum. You can behind me see there's still people milling around, popping a few poppies on the two white crosses down there at the cenotaph. A number of ways that Aucklanders today can mark their respects for those who have fallen in wars, fighting for New Zealand, of course. They can do that through the poppies down there. There's also a field of remembrance. They can lay poppies there or put in a white cross. The museum too, there's a book of remembrance in there, and I think the walk through the museum is not a bad idea on a day like today. Of course, a fantastic collection and many wonderful photos and archival material in there of the New Zealand campaigns. In fact, it was the War Memorial Museum where I found my great uncle Alan, who died in a war in the campaign in Italy towards the end of World War II. And I caught up with a couple of veterans from that campaign, the 24th Battalion, and it was very moving to speak to them about then hear their experiences, and we'll hear a little bit later from them after 8 about some of their experiences, including Jack Waddell, who's 91, who actually captured around 7 soldiers from a howitzer gun. So we'll hear from those veterans a little bit later on in the program, but right now we're joined in Christchurch by the Governor-General, Sir Jerry Mateparae. Good morning, Sir Jerry.
Good morning, Karen.
Tell us today, what does this mean for you, a unique position that you're in, but obviously your association with the Army and military runs deep?
My association with the military and the Army has been over a long period of time, but today's more about celebrating the fact that we as a nation have got a legacy that is one that we have inherited from the Anzacs.
And how important is that in terms of nationhood, do you think, the Anzac campaign, and in particular those bonds between New Zealand and Australia?
Well, if I take the bonds between New Zealand and Australia, I think there is no other two countries that have got such a strong association as we do. And the 1,200 miles that separate us in space is no distance when it comes to celebrating who we are and what we represent in the world. And I think the legacy of Anzac is that we stand up for the principles that we hold true to, that when you are a nation you do have to participate in the international order, and those are the sorts of things, the collective and also the individual responsibilities that we as New Zealanders and Australians take on.
And of course a few slings and arrows fired from time to time, but we can rise above those and take them as friends.
Well, I guess that's what family do. Family are able to talk to each other candidly. Family are also able to say things that are about how close we are as well. And I think with Australians and New Zealanders, there are no people on this earth that I would stand beside more gratefully and more acceptingly than an Australian.
What are we to make of Anzac Day now? Is it becoming, just by the nature of the way New Zealanders have reacted, a slightly more important day than Waitangi Day, or are they just different? Has it become more of a national day than perhaps it has been?
No, I think they're different. Waitangi Day is our national day. It's the day that we celebrate ourselves as New Zealanders. Anzac Day is different in as much as it's our collective responsibility that we celebrate, our place in the world and what we do and have done with Australia and with others to protect the values that we hold, the principles that we hold, the democratic norms and freedoms and those sorts of things that we hold collectively as a group of people.
And we're not celebrating militarism per se, are we? I mean, I know there are those who have the white poppies and they say that we should be thinking more about peace. We're commemorating those who died, really, aren't we?
We're not glorifying the actions of the men that went away. We are celebrating the fact that they stood up against tyranny. We are celebrating the fact that when they came home, they were clearly advocates of peace, and they they rejected the notion of fighting wars, but they did not reject the notion that sometimes you do have to step up and protect the peace, protect the democratic freedoms that we enjoy, protect the way of life that we can enjoy in Aotearoa, New Zealand, and in Australia, and all of those other countries that that hold those principles dear to their heart.
Governor General Sir Jerry Mateparae, we appreciate your time on breakfast this morning. Thank you very much.
Kia ora.